Hello, cinephiles. My name is Glenn. Welcome to this movie review of Reno 911 Search for Q. So let me tell you, everyone, right off the bat, if you like really stupid, dumb ensemble comedy movies that are campy and terrible, you're going to like this movie. And if you're like me and you love those kind of movies, let me know below. Tell me your favorite terrible ensemble cast comedy movies below. I would love to hear about them. And a real quick heads up to everybody watching, this one will be full of spoilers. So for those of you who don't know, Reno 911 was a television show that ran from 2003 to 2009. It was a single camera mockumentary style show where it followed around a whole bunch of weird, interesting characters as they serve and protect in the Florida region. They're police officers. They do crazy stuff. It's a real stupid, dumb show. And if you like stupid, dumb stuff, you would have probably enjoyed it. So Reno 911, The Search for Q, comes out a decade after the show completes and wraps up. It follows this crazy, kooky cast of police officers as they try to deliver a notice. What is it called? As they try to serve the infamous Q from QAnon. Insanity. It's an insane plot.
We need to put this in the hand and serve Q.
And so one of the things that I really like about this movie is that it's so terrible, it's actually really enjoyable. A lot of comedy movies are so light on the plot, it really doesn't matter. It's about the gangs and the stuff that happens in between. And Reno 911, The Search for Q was exactly that. So what did I really like about Reno 911? The cast still has the same chemistry. It was great to see these characters play off each other. Really, really funny. I think the thing that made this movie stand out to me as more unique than other movies that are coming out right now is that they were not afraid to take some more sensitive issues and turn them into jokes.
A beautiful QAnon couple.
You should see him with his pants off.
I mean, this whole movie is about finding Q from QAnon, you know, the leader of the group that essentially had everyone storm the Capitol Hill in the States on, I don't know, January of whatever. I'm Canadian. I don't know the exact dates or what you call things out there. And so this movie just wasn't afraid to take current events and some real stuff that I'm going to call it Hollywood very lightly, but that movie producers aren't willing to touch. So they had elements of QAnon in there. They had elements of like COVID and having it COVID tested, and they had jokes around that. And because of that, I saw some unique comedy in this movie that I probably wouldn't get from other comedy movies. Now, was it a good movie by any stretch of the imagination? No. I don't even think any critics even bothered to review it. And I'm pretty sure that on Rotten Tomatoes, users gave it like 53%, something like that. So it did not get very good ratings. However, if you're like me and you like ensemble comedies, you like movies that are terrible and you can enjoy terrible stuff, enjoy terrible movies, you're going to enjoy this one.
We're going undercover.
Another thing that I liked, and this is something that happens in comedy movies that I think goes underappreciated, I like that the costumes that these characters had on, like their t-shirts, were unique. And so, like, for example, one of the police officers, she's a little bit like weird and she's allowed to lunch, she's on meds, and she has an Americats shirt on. And it's like an American flag with a cat and like a star around its eye. It's funny and it really suits the character and it made me smile and I can really appreciate that. Some stuff that did not work in this movie. It was only a meek an hour and 24 minutes, and you could tell the writers were really trying to figure out what to do with this bad boy. There was like a random musical number in between, which I thought was just really, really bizarre. They were singing, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm not really sure what led to this or why this is happening, but it was clear that it was to fill in 4 more minutes of time, because at one point, 2 minutes into the song, I'm checking my watch going like, what are we doing here? Why are we still on this thing? So this movie had some really great ideas for jokes and content that could work. However, the jokes themselves and the writing was a little bit poorly executed. There's one scene where there is a QAnon trivia night on this cruise ship that they're on, and this guy is asking questions like who was responsible for Jeffrey Epstein's death, and they list all these names off, and I get where the writers were going. Like there was some real opportunity to make those questions and the answers really, really funny as you hear it in the background, but you know, the people that they chose as responsible or some of the actual questions in that trivia series weren't very funny, and it was just a missed opportunity. I just remember this. So my favorite scene from the movie, and it actually made me laugh out loud, like I burst out laughing, was the Reno 911 police officers find out who Q is, or who they think Q is, from one of their police officers who slept with a guy that claimed he was Q, which I know sounds ridiculous. And so what ends up happening is they're in their room, which is actually the belly of a ship with really poor accommodations. And a character that had a cameo earlier comes down and says, it's just like stupid and it's funny, but it made me laugh out loud. And I really appreciate that, because if a comedy movie can make me laugh out loud, I think that's a really good sign. You could tell that the budget for this movie was extremely low. I think they probably just put all the money into paying the actual cast to come be a part of this movie. There were barely any extras. You could tell that some of the scenes were the same as previous ones, but they dressed them up a little bit differently. So, I mean, you know, you get what you pay for, but even though it was a lower budget movie, it was still kind of enjoyable, because when you can sit in the space of a movie and say, okay, I know this is low budget, I know it's going to be campy, I know this is from a show that came out, you know, almost 20 years ago, and you can just sit and be with that and then just take it for what it is, it actually becomes kind of an enjoyable movie. If you're somebody who doesn't know anything about Reno 911, not a huge comedy person, and is just going to pick it up and put this movie on for a one-time viewing, you're going to hate yourself. You're going to be like, why did I waste an hour and 24 minutes of my life on this? I could have been literally doing anything. Watching paint curl on a wall would have been better than watching this. However, if you're like me and you like stupid comedies, you know yourself, you know what you're getting into yourself, you're going to enjoy this one.
Bad that I feel like I'm being threatened with a good time.
I mean, this is some of the nice stuff. Some of this is actually next year's stuff, by the way.
So all in all, honestly, I think for me, my enjoyment factor of this movie is probably like a 6.5 or a 7. I think if we're actually looking at like how good it was technically and trying to be more objective, we're probably looking at a 3. And if you're the average human being who likes average movies, you're probably gonna give this like a 1 out of 10. So that's my rating and ranking system for Reno 911: The Search for Q. So everybody, this ends this movie review of Reno 911: The Search for Q. If you enjoyed this and you'd love to watch some more fun entertainment movie reviews, please subscribe to the channel. I think you'll really love it, and look forward to content coming up soon. Everybody, have a great day. Hope you have a wonderful one.